Yo, 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 yo. We are back for another episode of the Sticks and Stones podcast. I'm your host, Angelo, and this is day 3, cigar number 3 in the Gurkha Cigar Sampler Pack. There were 6 cigars in here. We've already reviewed the Beast and the Marquesa. So let's see what we have left. And this episode, I am drinking hot tea. As I said in the beginning of this, we're going to try a new cigar with a different beverage for each cigar. Okay, so we have the Castle Hall, we have the Rogue, we have the Chateau de Preve, and we have the Gurkha Evil. Manufacturer's Evil. I don't know. Okay, being that I don't want to smoke something that says evil on my first cigar of the day, we are going to go with the Chateau de Preve. I'm trying to see what this says. This is the cigar I will be smoking for this episode. All right. Let's get into it. All right. Gonna go back to my tried and true. Gonna give this a snippy. Just as a beginner tip, you really don't want to go below the shoulder of your cigar. So you really don't want to go like below here, because then the cigar starts to fray and it gets out of control and there's nothing you can do about it at that point. Let's see. Gonna roll it around the flame, as always. I do my best to try not to get super close to that flame. That way it cooks the whole thing. One thing I am noticing here is weird blue marks. So the one thing I can tell right away is the draw is very different from the other 2 that I've had. This is a little tougher draw. Sometimes you gotta just have a hot cup of tea. It says the K Hanosha and Company. Century of Tradition. This has got to be a collaboration. It says 1887. Not sure. Again, I'm not vastly familiar with the Gurkha line. This is more mild, that's for sure. I'm gonna smoke this down some more because I'm honestly I don't know how I feel about this thing. You know, I wish that cigar events were more widely advertised. I know the cigar world is a big world and it's a very popular subject, it's a very popular conversation to have. But they're very hard to find. These events are very hard to find. You know, whether they're networking events, whether they're cigars and bourbon or cigars and scotch or cigars and coffee, whatever it may be, they're not widely advertised. Not really sure why. I know there's a couple of clubs here in my local area that have some events, but you know, other than the to the trade PCA big show that's happening in New Orleans this year, that one is widely advertised or marketed. But I think there should be a circuit of local, like community cigar events, cigars and coffee, cigars and cars, cigars and bourbon, scotch, you know, whatever. I think that there should be more events and marketed widely because this is such a broad category. So many people enjoy cigars that it should be shared amongst way more people. I've also found that just trying to grow my network, trying to plug into different places and industries and whatnot, other than, I mean, Eventbrite is probably the biggest. Finding a good networking event is difficult. It's not an easy task. A quick story. I was doom scrolling on Instagram, and even though you're doom scrolling, you can always be productive. I'll just say that. So, an advertisement popped up for a networking event that was coming to my local area, put on by Stellar, I think Stellar Events or something. Hold on. Now, I had done an event previously with these guys, and I had done an event, and it wasn't great. It wasn't great. They didn't even have any representatives come to the event. It was basically a shit show. They Trying to see. So this was a Houston Engineering, Energy, and Infrastructure Networking event. Now, I'd gone to an event that the same group, same organizer put on the week prior, and it wasn't great. They didn't send a representative to the lounge. It was like a bar lounge. They didn't send a representative there to like represent themselves. It was Stellar Socials USA. Stellar Socials USA put this event on. The previous event, Stellar Socials did not send anyone there to represent them, explain how, the event was going to work. No information, no details whatsoever. The bar was nice. It was a trendy little bar. What they advertised was not what it actually was. It was supposed to be an event for investors, builders, contractors, interior design, stuff like that. I met one architect. I met one quasi builder. Like, it was basically a fake it till you make it kind of event, which is fine. It's cool. There was not one investor there. There was not one interior design person. There was a handful of people, and I paid for the tickets for that event. So then fast forward to February the 27th, Stellar Socials puts out another event at another trendy, swanky little place downtown, close to downtown. Okay. Cool. I buy the tickets again, show up to this event, get to somebody, an employee that works at the bar, and they tell me that I'm the fourth person there to ask about this event that night. And the bartender had no clue of what was going on. So then she calls the owner of the establishment, and the owner says, yeah, there was an event scheduled for 7 p.m., but haven't heard from them, and I think they may have canceled. Ask the person, meaning me, check your tickets, check any updates to see if the organizer updated anyone. I look, nothing. I've got no email. I've got nothing. And there's no one there other than patrons of the bar. So my guess is, and I showed up about 30 minutes late. It's supposed to start at 7. I got there at 7:30. I don't really like to get to a networking event right when it starts. I like to show up a little bit fashionably late. So my guess is that 4 other people showed up for this event, saw that no one was there, and left. They bounced. No one got any notifications that the event was canceled. My guess is Stellar Socials USA didn't sell enough tickets that they were anticipating they were going to sell, and they just booked it out of there. Didn't tell anybody, no notifications, nothing. A couple of people ended up showing up, just strolling in even later, and they were upset. They were really upset. I'm going to get my money back. I'm going to call these people. I'm going to email them. I'm going to text them, whatever. The way I see it, it doesn't matter what you paid for those tickets. We all paid to be there. Doesn't matter what you paid. It was a lesson learned. Don't ever go to a Stellar Socials USA event, ever. They're not managed well. They're not produced well. It was a horrible experience, not once, but twice. So any event that I see with them on the internet, on social media, on Eventbrite, whatever, definitely not doing that again. It's really difficult to find a good networking event. Honestly, the best ones that I found so far are the ones that friends or colleagues or associates bring me to. Like, invite me to, and we just go together. Those are like the best. from I'm still figuring it out. So we shall see. But I think the Cigars event thing, I think there should be like a conglomeration. There should be like one networking or one marketing head, if you will. I think there should be like one organization, one company that somebody starts or opens or starts to run that is specifically for cigar events across the country and down to like communities, right? So have a representative or have a team of marketing slash salespeople that handle territories, and your territory is, whatever, the West Coast, or even if you wanted to go as detailed as, multiple salespeople for larger states like California, Texas, Florida, and everybody has a territory, and you do nothing but market cigar events, because you can have so many cigar events for so many different things, like races. You could have cigar events at aviation things. You can have cigar events at real estate things. You can have cigar events at construction things. I mean, there's so many industries, there's so many people who have shown interest in the cigar world that you could literally create a national cigar marketing and events company, and I think do really, really well at it. Because let's face it, anybody in this world, in the cigar world, has, let's not call it disposable income, but they have enough cash to throw at something that they enjoy, which is not cheap, right? So a good, I mean, you can get a decent cigar for $2, but let's call a spade a spade. The majority of a good cigar is $6 plus, right? 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20, 27, 30. There's cigars out there that are going for, 40, 50, $60 now, over 100. So I would venture to say, if you put on an event that was produced and executed at a precision level with the highest quality of drinks, cocktails, hors d'oeuvres or food, venues, and attendees, I think people would pay, and I think they would pay a good amount of money to go to an event like that. Because it's going to be at a nice place. You're going to have top shelf stuff, and you're going to meet top shelf people. Whether that be, you're looking for business, you're looking for like-minded people, new friends, build relationship. Well, I mean, whatever it is, I think somebody would pay that kind of money to go to a good event where they know they're going to have good sticks there, they're going to have good food, good drink, good people. That's just my 2 cents. I mean, this Chateau de Privé is mild. It's pretty mild, I'm not gonna lie. It's got that creamy, but I'm gonna be honest. This is not something that, I don't know how much this cigar is, but this is not something that I would go searching for. It's not something that I would, pay top dollar for. I mean, I bought this sample pack, 6 cigars for like less than $30. Traditionally, Romani people, my clan, does fruit in our tea. There's others that do the milk and stuff, but we do fruit, so that's what I'm chewing on. I think I got apples in here. So I've got some plans to look at for construction, some construction projects. I've got a couple of those that I've got to look at today, and I'm doing some more prospecting, working on some of the websites and stuff like that. Obviously, podcasting. We're gonna shoot some more videos, some more content for a couple of the other channels. Yeah, pretty busy. I have to. I want to address one thing that's happening in pop culture right now. Everybody is like losing their minds on the Jim Carrey thing, and admittedly, I am a conspiracy theorist. I'll say this over and over again. Not to the psychosis level, not to an extent where I'm staying up for 48 hours straight or 72 hours straight trying to track down a specific thing or story or tale or whatever. But I wholeheartedly believe not to believe everything you see or hear or are told. There are ulterior motives in every which direction. Just don't take it at face value. And Jim Carrey, back as far as 11 years ago, and I've been going down this rabbit hole, and I don't want to give any opinions or positions, any absolute positions or viewpoints without going through all of the material first. But, just on a first glance, the man, everyone thought that he went off the rails as far back as like 11 years ago. As we are seeing in our current day, there's a lot of weird stuff that's been happening in the entertainment industry since the beginning of the entertainment industry. Music, movies, TV. There's all sorts of like pedophilia and predatorism, if that's a word, predatory people in those industries. But I think it goes a lot deeper than that. And Jim Carrey kind of faded out of the limelight and started talking against the entertainment industry as far back as 11 years ago. Started to grow his beard out really, really long and was looking disheveled and stuff like that. And then started talking about spirituality and the Christian faith, and was getting into some really, really deep stuff. And then now recently reappears in France, accepts an award, and does not look anything like Jim Carrey that we all know and love. Some people love him, some people hate him. They'll watch his movies, they won't watch his movies. I think the guy was hilarious. He did a bunch of movies like, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective 1 and 2, I thought there's one-liners in there that I use till I think the guy was a comedic legend, but shows up at this award event acting very, very weird. Doesn't look anything like the Jim Carrey that we all grew up watching. And it's got the whole world on fire, basically. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on, which I'm not even going to get into. But like I said, I don't have a viewpoint, an opinion, or anything on it right now. I want to look through the information and read some stuff and, do all that sort of thing. But it's weird, guys. It's weird. Shit's weird. Shit's getting really, really weird. They're saying that there's technology out there that, can clone people, and they're saying that there's people out there that are not who we think they are, and, they're not here anymore. And it's weird. And like what the purpose of all this is, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know. It's a scary place. We're living in a really scary place. This is not something that we had to deal with when I was a kid growing up, but it's something that we definitely all have to deal with now. So, pretty weird. I don't know, man. I mean, I still think this cigar is a good cigar. I mean, it's not the greatest that I've ever had. I think it makes for a good morning stick for sure. Let me see a little bit more about this stick. Let's go on the Google machine. Chateau de Privé. Okay, so I don't see anything on the Gurkha website, but the AI, Google AI says the Gurkha Chateau de Privé is a limited edition, mid to medium bodied premium cigar produced in the Dominican Republic at PDR Cigars. I'm sorry, mild to medium. It's a mild to medium bodied cigar. I agree with that. It features an Ecuadorian de Florado wrapper. I don't know. I probably butchered that. Dominican Olor binder and Dominican fillers. So it looks to be, it's Ecuadorian and Dominican throughout. Known for a creamy, toasty flavor profile with notes of cedar and vanilla. Cedar, I definitely get. Vanilla, not really. The cigar is offered in 3 sizes: the Bishop, which is $10, the Rook, which is $10, and King of Warriors. I do like that name. That's pretty cool. $11, and was released in 2018 in limited quantities, 300 boxes per size. Key details for Gurkha Chateau de Privé. Flavor profiles creamy and smooth with notes of oak, cedar, hay, and vanilla. Now, a friend of mine explained to me in toasting notes that when you say hay, it doesn't mean like you've eaten hay before. It means you're using all of your sense, all of your 5 sense. You know, you're using smell, touch, taste to imagine if you're smelling hay, like that's what hay would taste like. So it's more of a taste bud, nasal, smell connection. So if I'm lying to you, I was lied to. Wrappers, Ecuadorian, binders, Dominican, fillers, Dominican. It's giving the sizes. The cigars are known for their ornate, high-end packaging, often featuring dome-shaped boxes, according to Half Wheel. Yeah, I mean, that's not something like... Yeah, the packaging, the band is cool. I'm sure the box is really cool. But to be best known for your packaging, I don't think that's like the greatest thing in the world. Cedar, definitely. Vanilla, I don't get any vanilla whatsoever. And I got to tell you guys, for this price point, I definitely would not be looking for this cigar. And they don't even make it in the Vitola that I really like. The ring gauge, the biggest ring gauge they have is 52. So, yeah, not my thing. I have been meeting with a lot of people lately, and I've come up with the point of view that I like working with people that I like working with. And I know I bounce around a whole bunch, but that's my personality. I believe I have undiagnosed ADHD, so I'm bouncing all over. It's 100% like squirrel. Like that's me. But I met with someone yesterday that I met at a networking event. Wonderful person, and we were just talking about it's so different when you're working and referring business to and among friends. It's a completely different thing. It's a completely different vibe. It's people that you know and trust. And I've been this way for a very long time, but I never actually articulated it, never actually put it into words. I only refer my clients if they're looking for a service or a product. I only refer products and services that I know and trust, that I use myself, or people that I am well connected to or connected with. And I think that's what most of the world should do. I don't think that as a service provider, I provide a multitude of services, from real estate to construction to consulting to finance to, a whole bunch of things. If I'm going to refer a client to a product or a service, you shouldn't just be flinging out their referrals or recommendations willy-nilly just because, you get points or you get, a referral fee or a kickback or whatever. I think that you're doing your clients, your friends, your family a disservice. Whoever you're offering the referral to or the recommendation to, you should stand behind it. You should have faith and confidence that whatever you're referring, whether it's a product or a service, that it is going to bring that person value. It's going to bring them the result that they're looking for, the goal, the result that they're looking for. And I've just never articulated it before, but it's so true. If I'm going to refer something out, I'm going to refer to someone that I know, that I trust, that I know the work quality is where it should be. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so if something doesn't look right, if it's not built right, if it's not said right, produced right, created right, I won't refer it. And it takes relationship building in order to know that. You have to know those people for a while. You have to know the ins and outs, the good, the bad, because it's not all good. It's not all going to be rainbows and sunshine and butterflies. There are going to be problems. It's how the problems are resolved is what makes the difference on am I going to refer you or not. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. But as far as the cigar world is concerned, I think as a community of cigar smokers, we should all work on a calendar of events across the country that we can all go to, enjoy, network, show up, have a good time, smoke some good stuff, drink some good stuff, maybe eat some good stuff, and all be cohesive. I don't think that most of these cigar lounges, cigar clubs, cigar stores, all the owners know each other. I don't think that there's as far as I know, there isn't animosity or, there is some sort of competition. But I mean, if you're far paced out enough, you're not really competing. You're not, you know, infringing on each other's territories. I think we should all have open communication. I think we should all collaborate and create these events where we can all get something out of it. And I just think that, my own opinion, I haven't been to many events where that shines through. Well, first of all, a lot of events are done indoors, and you can't do that at a cigar event unless it's at a cigar lounge for obvious reasons. No event place wants cigar smoke all over their place. It gets everywhere, gets into everything. So if we could get a network of lounges, outdoor places where they'll allow an event like that, I think it's a great idea. I think someone can jump on that and make that a real thing. I mean, imagine a website where you can go to, and I don't know if this exists or not. I mean, I could be making a complete ass out of myself right now. I don't know if this exists. But if you went to a website where you can drill down to your local area and see what cigar events are going down in that, month, week, whatever, I think that's pretty cool. I think people would really enjoy that. I think they would use that. I think you could generate money and add money. I think it would benefit a lot of people. I mean, that's just me. But I hope you guys like the content that we put out here at Sticks and Stones podcast. Things are going to change. We've got a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on. We're creative enough to where we could pivot and position and do all these different things. And a lot more is going to be coming out of this channel, from our podcast to our websites. There's multiple websites being launched, to our social media from Facebook and Instagram, debating on whether doing a TikTok or not. Love to collaborate with people. One of the websites that we're building is kind of like a form, a place to kind of give me what you're looking for, what you want to be a guest on the podcast, or, interviews at different things, and, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of stuff's going to be happening, a lot of changes for the good, a lot of improvements. So stay tuned for what we're doing. As far as Gurkha stick number 3, the Chateau de Privé, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. For the price, I would pass on it. If someone gave it to you, it's okay. It's not bad. The draw on this one was kind of iffy. But, it is what it is. I mean, this is what we're all about. We're all about trying out new sticks and cigars we love, cigars we don't know, cigars that, we'd like to pass on. I did a review video on YouTube. It wasn't on the podcast, which, I'm kind of thinking I should have did it on the podcast. The God of Fire was a cigar that I really didn't like. Bought a whole box, didn't like it at all. Revisited it, and it was better than when I first smoked it, not for $27. Like, this is a lot of the stuff that I do, because I do love cigars. I love smoking cigars. I smoke multiple a day. This is what these channels are all about. It's really all about the cigars. It's all about the product. It's all about the brotherhood of the leaf. It's all about trying stuff, giving my personal opinions. Again, they're just my personal opinions. So that way, if you're an avid smoker, you got something to relate to. If you're someone looking to get into smoking, we're giving you info and tips and tricks and opinions and reviews on what would be good, what would be bad, all that sort of stuff. So just doing it for the love of this thing, and trying to produce really good, entertaining content for you guys. So we're working on it. We're improving. We're doing what we can, and loving every step of it, loving every minute of this journey, every step of the way. So with that, we're out for this episode, and I want to wish you all a blessed day, a blessed week, a blessed life, and stay blessed. And above all else, keep it rolling, baby.